Yes, we have found a male lion who may or may not be alive. As you can see, he is showing a distinct lack of enthusiasm for his Saturday morning, but he is a male lion, and that's good. He's not doing a great deal at the moment. As you can see, he did sit up as we got here, gave us a bit of a look, and then lay down again. And I don't know who he is. I'm not sure which one he is. I'm pretty sure he's not. Who did we have last? He's got a much bigger mane than the lion we had last. Let me just move a little bit around him slightly, give you some variation in the sighting. I'm afraid we failed to find whatever was making those squirrels so upset. I think the fact that the impalas were not particularly interested in alarm calling makes me think that it could have been a snake or something like that. Hello? Which one are you? Would you at least open your eyes, just briefly? Be kind. No, not. Anyway, I suppose what's interesting here is to see how the grass has changed colour and how he is starting to blend in with it quite well. People often ask, well, why are animals certain colours? And I think they're almost always coloured for the winter. In the summer, of course, you can hide behind bushes and in the long grass, but as the winter comes and the vegetation recedes, so you need to be more and more well hidden. And so a lion, big as it is perfectly coloured for the winter grass and winter vegetation. He's also perfectly adapted for sleeping, which he does most of his time. It would be nice of him at least to lie in an area where we didn't have to look at a road junction. You know, you'd think he could put himself at least in a clearing. But he could not even extend himself to doing that. Now, you might see also that his belly, which is the hungry-making colour of sort of honeyed custard at the moment, is quite full. Although he's not breathing very hard, it is quite full. And the Birmingham boys, two of them, have been on a buffalo kill in Mala Mala to the south of here. And I think he's probably been snacking on that. You see that? Well, you wouldn't have seen, but it made him open his eyes very slightly when I said buffalo kill. Buffalo kill. Buffalo kill. No, only once. Giraffe kill. Still nothing. Oh, I've just heard on the radio that a buffalo has been killed. No, he's just not interested. Jay, you say that you think this might be Nhenha, the warrior. I think that you are probably correct, Jay. I seem to remember him having the darkest mane. Didn't he have the darkest mane? And this chap's got a nice dark mane. Oh, we have some eye-opening, everybody. Oh, good grief. Hold on to your seats. That's quite a nice picture of sort of evil-shaped eyes. Seb, I think he quite likes you. Now this is where a male lion becomes so very impressive. Yeah, that is Nhenha. He's got the equal sign on his nose. Ah, well done. Thank you very, very much. And Roshni, you say that he has a beautiful mane. He does indeed. Salon quality mane, as I've said. Although I don't think he's done a very good job of washing his face, to be honest. He's still got a bit of blood on it. He's picked something up on the wind. See how he keeps turning his head to the wind? idea what that could be. That's it. Turn your head to the sun there. That's a good boy. He's like a model at a shoot now. Beautiful. Yeah, he does look like he's got a bit of a cut on the side of his face, but you know, we see these guys so infrequently these days that it's difficult to know, you know, whether those cuts and bruises and things are new or old, I find. Still, it's very nice having a male lion with us. Oh, he just watched a vulture fly over the top of his head. A white-backed vulture. Perhaps the vulture hoping for a few thermals. In fact, almost certainly hoping for a few thermals. But just getting quite a lot of wind and not much heat today. I'm so glad he took it upon himself to sit up. It was very kind of him. Thank you, Mr. Lion. I don't suppose you want to roar, do you? I know this isn't really your roaring time, but maybe you'd make an exception. It is Saturday Catterday. Ha 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 ha. Just see the sun starting to come out now, changing the picture. And I think we're about to have another collapse onto the ground, so that he might sleep. Yes, shame. Hey, after all that activity. Right, I think we're probably going to spend another few minutes with this lion and then move on. While we do that, Tristan apparently has got a member of the Orthoptidae that has a crest. Good. He has lifted his head. He's looking around the place, sniffing the wind, showing us his... I mean, that picture makes him look like he's got quite evil eyes, doesn't it? But when you zoom out from his face, it looks like butter wouldn't melt in his mouth. Which, of course, it never will, because he's unlikely to eat butter. There is a wind coming up from the southeast, and I think that every so often he's picking something up, either sound or smell. There's something very timeless about him, I must say. Although he's a young fellow of probably just over 6 years, he's got something timeless about him. MJ, very good, nice question about parasites and lions and whether there are any creatures that help them stay free of parasites. And the answer, I'm afraid, is no, I don't think there are. I mean, his own body will be in a constant state of war with parasites and parasitoids internally. And externally, I mean, he does get ticks and mites and things. But other than his brothers and pride mates who might from time to time engage in a bit of allo grooming, he's really it's up to him to try and fend off the parasites. I just got a bit distracted there, Seb. If you look down south, you can see all of the vultures are now coming up off the carcass out of Mala Mala. You see that? That is phenomenal. If you saw that and you just come down here, you might think to yourself, there's definitely death. But if you watch them carefully, you can see actually that they're going upwards. They're coming off whatever they've been eating, and whatever it is now finished. just beautiful. Isn't that great? And let's see how long that thermal lasts. They'll get to the top of it, and then they'll fly off, probably in this direction with the wind. They are coming this way with the wind. The lion has not seen them yet. I'm pretty sure he'll pick them up as they come over though. That is just fantastic. So they're making use of the wind and the thermal. I don't think it's a very strong thermal. None of them are sort of speeding up at a great rate. Floating up into the great blue yonder. I think the wind's coming from me, Lou, because I'm looking upwards, I'm afraid. Sorry about the wind noise, everybody. Oh, that's very special. Hello, a pack of animals. There, he suddenly picked up vultures and smell of something. A pack of animals, you're wondering if the term raptor means carnivorous bird. You know what, I don't actually know what its origin is. I don't know what the etymology of the word raptor is. We use it to refer to birds of prey. All birds of prey, and they are all carnivorous, yes. So it's a certain order. It's not even an order. It's a number of families of birds that fit into what we would term raptor, or loosely term raptor, including the falcons and hawks, goshawks, harriers, eagles, vultures, and snake eagles. That was just tremendous, actually. Justin, at one stage of my life, I drove a fellow who was a big cat trainer, and he said to me that he thought lions were the most stupid animals he'd ever come across. So when you ask me what do I think is going through his mind right now, my temptation is to give you a flippant answer, and that is absolutely nothing. I don't believe that that's necessarily true, that lions are gormless. They're as bright as they have to be for the lives that they live. I think there are two things going through his mind. He's watching the vultures and thinking to himself, is there meat there? And then probably realizing and remembering that that's where he's just had his last meal, so it's highly unlikely. He will also note, oh, hello. I would have thought he would have noted that the vultures were not going down, that they were coming up. They are able to do that. He's definitely watching the sky, though. He's watching the vultures. And the second thing that he's thinking, obviously, is where's more food? Chaps, this is major action for a lion sighting this time of the day. Can you believe it? And Canadian Emily, you were wondering if they'd see the vultures and go to investigate. Absolutely they do. That's half the way they find their food. And a male lion, contrary to popular belief and what the Lion King would have you believe, is the greatest scavenger out here. Far greater than any hyena. And even if they're not scavenging from other predators, they'll scavenge from other lions. Now, I think he's picked up that those vultures that where I'm pointing there, we won't try and show them to you while we're driving, but they're coming up off a different part of the plains than the buffalo kill vultures that have just come up. Hello, fellow. Where are you going? Shall I try and get in front of him, Sib? It's gorgeous, hey? Is that all right? That's just stunning. See what I was saying about his colour? Excuse me. Suzanne, you say where's the rest of his coalition? I'm afraid I don't know. Got a nice game path that we can drive along through here. I think that some of them are on Mala Mala down to the south. Let's hold on tight here. You can still see him there. It's just quite thick. Sorry. There he goes. Look at him floating through there. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, that's great. Okay, let's move up. Watch your head there, Seb. You can still see him. Now, I believe that Tristan has managed to find something that he would like to eat several months ago. I suspect it's a marula. I have no idea. Well, let's go and find out. No, my lion hasn't seemed to have found any massacre or death just yet. He was in this block, and we came through it via a path that was different from his, taking a chance, hoping that he would pop out around here. But we didn't want to try and follow him through the thick stuff that he was going. And, well, he hasn't arrived just yet. It is entirely possible that he has gone to sleep in the middle of that block, which is a little irritating, to say the least. There is no alarm calling, no distress being indicated by any bird or other species. There is a wildebeest over there, which we can look at while I scan the fringes of the woodland here for the emerging tawny mane of our big male lion. But I do not see him anywhere. And lay down and went to sleep. So I'm sorry about that. Anyway, there's the wildebeest looking deeply undistressed by life. So he doesn't think there's a male lion coming this way. And as you can see, the Mara is not the only place with great swathes of clearing around. Here we are, in clearings with the wildebeest, and it's the one animal that for love nor money Brent will be unable to find at the moment. You can find every other kind of predator that there might be on planet Earth, but no wildebeest at the moment. They will be coming up from the south fairly soon into the Mara. This lion, I'm afraid, has gone, as they say in game drive language, a lalapansi. He's gone sleep down. There he is. He came out basically where we came out, Seb. We just want to be slightly the other side of the light, correct, Seb? Is that fine? Or there? Come, boy, come. Now, White Lady Irwin, you want to know if a lion would scavenge another lion's food? Absolutely, and they do all the time. That is what a male lion is doing when he takes from his females. That is scavenging. There are no two ways about it. There's no finer way or no fine way to put that. The male lion, when his female, when his pride has killed, he is scavenging from them. Oh, that's wonderful. That's what you want to see. Male lion coming towards you. It is very beautiful, Louise, that is correct. Especially across grassland like this. Smelling the air all the time still. Isn't that special? Now, as you said that, driving up to leopards, that's your name, he swung off to the other side. You said, would he take that wildebeest on alone? He would. I just don't think in these conditions he would. I think you'll find that these conditions are completely suboptimal for a male lion wanting to hunt something. And he therefore would not be doing a great deal of hunting on his own. It's too bright. That wildebeest will run away from him. What a gorgeous, gorgeous shot of a lion. He's heading due south to where his kill was. He can definitely smell it. Unless, you know what, there were 2 male lions on that kill apparently, unless he wasn't one of them. And maybe only now has he picked up on the scent of the kill. Now, he's not far from the boundary, so Seb, when you're ready, I'm going to move. He's just heading, the wildebeest now starting to alarm call at him. Okay, let's go. He's got, there are the vultures in the tree. He's got one more road to cross after this one. We'll try and do a repeat performance. No, we can't. I'm afraid this is as far as we can go, Seb. So he's now crossing the boundary into Mala. Let me get my bonce out of the way. There are some impala. I'll just tell you about them while you look at the lion. There are some impala to the south. They're now looking at him. There are some vultures, which we'll show you shortly. He's now in Mala. Sometimes it does pay off to sit with a flat cat, quite often not, but today it did. Dustin, difficult to say. I mean, I have read these statistics, but I'm not sure that I remember exactly what it was. You say, compared with the human being, how strong is a lion's nose? I don't know about lions specifically. A hyena apparently can smell about 200 times more effectively than we can. Now, what that actually means, I'm not sure. But I think it probably means the distance from which they will smell something. So they are that much more effective. And I mean, certainly for a leopard, I've watched Mvula the leopard. There the vultures are. I've watched Mvula the leopard track a zebra's carcass about 4 kilometers. He suddenly picked it up on the wind, he turned and he ran 4 kilometers to the north, and we didn't know what he was doing. And eventually he found the zebra carcass. We ran in a straight line towards it. Right, well that was gorgeous. Shall I just back up slightly for you? There are the vultures, the last of them, the lazy ones. And this will be our last view of Nhenha the warrior. Alright everybody, we're going to begin the long trek back towards Djuma. You know, long treks, nothing quite like the long treks of the Mara that we're about to start having. And while we do that, I believe that Jamie has already made that long trek, and she would like to tell you how that long trek has gone.